To him with another +3 is Dave Sapienza out of Riverhead, New York. The Sapienza Enterprises number 36. He will start outside pole.
Now this driver currently living in Kannapolis, North Carolina, but we will always call him a resident of Berlin, Connecticut. Car number 6, New York, Ryan Priest in the Riverhead Raceway car. He'll be joined in the second row by car number 3, Old Blue, from Harvard, Massachusetts. Propane Plus and Genco Performance are the sponsors for Matt Swanson.
Fifth starting spot goes to the number 18, Max Zackham from Oakdale, Connecticut. The All Phases Renovations Viper Graphics sponsored entry. And he'll start alongside the number 79 of John McKennedy from Chelmsford, Mass., the Middlesex Interiors Chevrolet.
Then the 7th position will belong to car number 57, a driver from Berlin. M&M Stone Creations are the sponsors for Keith Rocco. Then next door to him in car number 25, Connecticut, he's from East Hampton in the Fowler's Auto Wrecking and Belltown Motors car, Anthony Flannery.
The 9th starting spot goes to the 25 of Ronnie Williams from Tolland, Connecticut, the Casella Snowplows Mully's Auto Repair sponsored car. And he'll start next to the 7 New York, Mike Christopher Jr. from Walcott, Connecticut, the Mohawk Northeast sponsored entry.
Scheduled to start 11th will be the 81X. The Knights Bridge Company and Boz Racing are the sponsors for Josh Stentek. Then it will be car number 12, Massachusetts, a former champion of the Pro 4 Modifieds from Taunton in the Tri-City Tactical car. Here is Rob Ricciardi Jr.
13th starting position goes to the number 75 for Chris Pastriak from Moosup, Connecticut, the famous Pastriak racing family. The MV Williams Builders Dolly Collision and Custom sponsored number 75. And alongside will be the number 24, Andrew Krause from Holmdel, New Jersey, the Supreme Manufacturing Company Chevrolet.
The 45 will be next in line, a driver from Brewster in the PMG Shell and 137 gas car. The driver is Brett Meservey, third generation driver. Then it will be the 55 Connecticut from Waterford. Critical Signs brings us Sean Monahan.
And Brian Weber scheduled to start in the number 26 from Mooresville, North Carolina, the helpingheroes.org number 76. Green flags are in the air.
And we are just in time to see Anthony Nocella take off on the outside. Nocella in the 92 will beat everybody into the second corner.
And he will start to drive away on the backstretch as he opens up a big lead. Dave Sapienza holds on to second, but Ryan Priest working the inside of Matt Swanson, trying to take that third spot away.
It is Priest Lightning on the inside, but the man on the outside has the advantage. That's Matt Swanson. Now he is going after the 36 of Sapienza. Hit him in the back to loosen him up. Has room on the bottom. And look at Swanson. A bold move, the 21-year-old from Acton, Mass., but now he settles back into third place.
And that lead of Nocella's has evaporated a little bit as Dave Sapienza starts to close in on him. Then an equal amount back to Matt Swanson in the number 3. John McKennedy up to the 4th spot in the 79.
And right behind him is Ryan Priest. Then we have Flannery, and then Mike Christopher in 7th. So as they rabble-rouse their way off the turn, it is Anthony Nocella. Made an aggressive move on the outside early in the race to take the lead. Sapienza is right there, hanging out in the glove compartment.
Hanging right with him, but now he's got to contend with Matt Swanson, and Swanson takes a look down in the bottom there in the first and second turn, drives underneath and just makes contact with the 36 of Sapienza, but just as that happened, the caution flag came out.
And Brett Meservey goes on to pit road. So we have a problem to start out. So maybe we have a situation on the backstretch.
Yeah, they're
because that's where our safety crew is. So a little speedy dry action in heading into the turn. So a very hectic pace to start this, especially if your name is Anthony Nocella, as he was able to barnstorm his way into the lead. And Sapienza not backing down, keeping him companionship at the front of the field. And Matt Swanson made a good move to get by Priest. Priest got kicked back to fifth, and McKennedy wound up in fourth. So that is the way the first laps, 4 laps went. Before the yellow came out, Nocella only had a 0.2 of a second lead. And now Brent Meservey comes out. Brent Meservey, a champion in the Pro 4 Modifieds. His dad, Dan Meservey, had driven that car for a long time in the open shows and on the Valente Racing Series. And this time he gave the keys to the car over to his son. And there is another Meservey, Braden Meservey, making his debut in the Pro 4 Modifieds. In his first race, he finished third. Right now it's Nocella again, almost an instant replay of what happened on the start.
Back underway, and Nocella gets that jump on the outside. Sapienza has to contend with John McKennedy in the 79, but not for long. McKennedy makes the pass on the backstretch and goes to second.
Persistent on the inside is Swanson, but he couldn't get underneath the Sapienza. And now Swanson has a headache. His name is Anthony Flannery, and Flannery is able to blur his way into the top 4.
Yeah, he goes around Swanson on the outside. Swanson kind of stuck down on the bottom there, and pretty much a freight train outside of him making the pass. There goes Rocco by him, and now Mike Christopher Jr. gets around Swanson's number 3.
It's a freight train, and Swanson doesn't have a ticket as he continues to drift backwards. Now he is even with Ryan Priest, who is in the 6 New York car. It is McKennedy in the lead on lap number 7. So we told you McKennedy was going to be a force to be reckoned with, and it took him only 7 laps in which to prove it.
Yeah, he's liking Wednesday nights. He did it in a super modified last Wednesday night at the Seekonk Speedway. In fact, he became a 5-time winner in the super modified, 5 in a row, and he did it handily last Wednesday night. Now he's leading again this Wednesday, this time in a modified race car.
McKennedy hasn't lost a super modified race since 2019. That is a pretty long streak, even though the racing season was short-circuited because of the pandemic. Contact as Sapienza and Flannery got together, and that kicked him backwards. Actually, that was Rocco who made contact with Flannery.
Yeah, Flannery caught the outside wall with the right front, a shower of sparks, but it appears that other than maybe knocking the toe out a little bit, he's able to keep going.
So Rocco, in a hurry, has moved into the top 4. The sparks are coming from the 7, and Mike Christopher, he is in 5th place. And it looks like Nocella wants his lead back as he is stalking that 79 of John McKennedy.
Yeah, McKennedy's keeping him right behind him. Nocella right there with him. Sapienza doing a great job in the 3rd spot. But yeah, Nocella would like the opportunity to get up alongside McKennedy.
And showing a resurgence as he is moving back to 6. Power move, Rocco. He is in 3rd place. Can he keep it there? As fighting back is Sapienza, but it is Rocco in the top 3.
Yeah, Rocco able to make that patented move down on the inside to get around Sapienza. Takes the spot away. Sapienza holds tough with Mike Christopher and holds him off.
That was like a Jacob deGrom fastball. And taking over 3rd was Rocco. Sapienza 4th. And right now he is getting pestered by Mike Christopher, who goes to the inside. Christopher has tried that move, and this time it works. Priest following him into the top 5. So Sapienza gets stuck on the outside. Rocco got by him, Christopher got by him, and now Priest is getting by him.
Yeah, tough break for Sapienza, who has lost a number of spots in just the last few laps. But up front, it's still Nocella chasing John McKennedy, and Keith Rocco watching from the 3rd spot.
Remember a few laps ago, it was Flannery into the upper tier of the field. Now he is fighting for his life against Andrew Kraus. So that is a very hot contest deep in the field and up at the front. Nocella not giving up as he continues to put pressure on the back bumper of the McKennedy car.
Yeah, they're running 1, 2, 3. Just about a car length separates each of them as they head down into turn 1. McKennedy firmly in charge, but Anthony Nocella stays within striking distance. Rocco looking for a little running room down underneath Mike Christopher as they go down into turn 3.
Now Priest trying to get underneath Mike Christopher. The 7 against the 6, and Priest comes up dry. Mike Christopher Jr. able to protect his turf.
Yeah, it's Priest hammering on Christopher as he is going to try it again. No, he will settle in and follow Christopher through that 3rd and 4th turn. Rocco sizing up Anthony Nocella.
So Rocco is glued to the tailpipe. Turn 3, that's where Rocco does his best work. There he is. He's on the attack as he tomahawks his way underneath Nocella. That's part 1. Part 2, can he hold the advantage? And he does.
Yeah, he's trying to go for 2 in a row here tonight. Yeah, winning the Sunoco Modified feature earlier. Now he goes after John McKennedy. Priest continues to battle with Christopher as they're both ganging up on Anthony Nocella now.
Well, the 2 guys who were most impressive during qualifying tonight, John McKennedy and Keith Rocco, are running 1-2 on the track. Nocella dropped to 3rd. What about Ryan Priest? He is on the inside trying to get the best of Dave Sapienza. He gets by Sapienza, and now he is going after Nocella.
Yeah,
Mike Christopher is right in the picture as well.
Yeah, he's been working the bottom of Mike Christopher, unable to make that pass, and the both of them right up on the back bumper of Anthony Nocella. Here's Priest again, going to go 2 in 1 pass if he can make it work. Gets a little loose out of turn 4. Nocella tries to fight back.
Let's see if Priest has a double whammy, and he does, as he has upward mobility from 6 into 3rd. So that was a pretty strong move. Now trying to make one against McKennedy is Keith Rocco. So Rocco all over that number 79 like a checkered shirt on a lumberjack. We have a car, Chris Pastriak is on the grass adjacent to the front straightaway, so he is in John Deere country, and we have our second yellow.
So he'll be able to pull back out and join the field, and everybody gets to catch their breath for a moment as we got quite a battle going on up front.
And it'll be interesting to see what groove that McKennedy picks. I mean, tonight we have seen drivers go to the outside and get beaten, and the strategy not working. So we'll see what McKennedy decides to do. It's his choice whether he wants to start inside or outside. Nocella has been a contender all night long, currently running into the number 3 spot. And right there in his hip pocket is Priest Lightning, Ryan Priest. And it's kind of neat the way that Ryan Priest, whenever his schedule allows, he comes back into the modifieds for either an open show or a Whelen Modified Tour show. As a former champion in the Sunoco Modifieds at Thompson. So he has won championships at Thompson and Stafford in the Sunoco Modifieds. He has won a championship on the Whelen Modified Tour that he clinched at the World Series here. And I think the celebration in the clubhouse went on for about 3 days. But he is a contender here, currently running in 3rd. Dennis Nocella, Christopher 5th, Sapienza 6th. And Zachem, we haven't mentioned him that often, but he is running in the elite part of the field.
He's a new dad, too, by the way.
You know, it was,
so he's not getting much sleep these days.
I think his wife, she might have won a race here at Thompson during her career in the NEMA Lights.
I don't know that she did, but yeah, she was a strong competitor, and that's a couple that met at the racetrack, and the rest is history.
And trying to make history tonight is John McKennedy in car number 79. You know, when you look at his resume or stuff, maybe he doesn't get the headlines because he is not that flamboyant personality. He is solid. You know, he is not the colorful driver. He is like granite, solid as a rock.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he will get a good jump on the restart. The driver from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, he picks the outside. Remember earlier tonight in the Sunoco Modifieds, Rocco went on the inside and got the lead from Troy Tallman. So I think they haven't invented a place where Keith Rocco isn't effective. Inside, outside, he could probably start underground and be a factor.
Pace car is off and the green flag is in the air. There's the start for John McKennedy as he will lead Rocco down into turn one.
Like soda out of a shaken can. Priest going to work. Almost got underneath Rocco. Got about a quarter away there. We're talking about Max Ackham. He is in the top five. Priest gets underneath Mike Christopher Jr. He's going after Keith Rocco. What about Max Ackham? Having a great run. Now, Ronnie Williams, for the first time tonight, we mentioned him. He moves into sixth place.
Yeah, a lot of changes up there, well inside the top 10 as McKennedy continues to lead it. Rocco now being hounded by Ryan Priest.
And it is Williams trying to figure out a way to get by Max Ackham. That would be a fight for the top five. And wandering to the outside, Ronnie Williams. McKennedy increases his lead over Rocco as he is able to BB his way off the corner.
That front pack has started to pull away from the rest of the field. Then you go back to fourth spot, Anthony Nocella. Plenty of company behind him, including Max Zackham, Ronnie Williams, and the 7 New York of Mike Christopher. Here's Williams with a move down underneath Zackham.
And let's see if he can make it work, and he does. So Ronnie Williams now is moved up into fifth place. And he is not content with that. He's going after Mike Christopher.
Well, driving down underneath Anthony Nocella to take the spot away, as that battle for second spot has cooled off, at least for the time being. It had been Ryan Priest and Keith Rocco going at it, but Rocco's put some space between himself and Priest. Now Ronnie Williams is trying to reel them in.
No, I thought it was going to be a big battle between Nocella and Ronnie Williams, and Williams just overwhelmed him. Max Ackham trying to tap dance around Mike Christopher is able to get it done. So Max Ackham, in one of his best runs we have seen at Thompson since he almost won a Wheeler Modified Tour race, he is in sixth. Things are getting crowded at the front of the field between McKennedy and Rocco.
Spin. Over
Riccardi
there in the fourth turn. Yeah, Riccardi comes around. Kind of lost it on his own up there, and everybody was able to scatter around him, but we're under caution once again with 29 laps complete.
And John McKennedy, judging by what he did on the last start, you don't have to be a mind reader to figure out what he is going to do. We expect him to go back on the outside and leave Rocco down low. Now the wild card in the occasion, the straw that stirs a drink, would be Ryan Priest, as he will be starting behind Rocco, and we'll see if he can use that to his advantage. Ronnie Williams, he was off the radar screen for the first 20 laps of this race, and all of a sudden there is a Gary Casella, number 25 car, in the middle of it.
So the scorers double check the running order and make corrections in the restart lineup.
Flannery on pit road. So what was a promising start has turned out into some headaches as he will get that car serviced.
Max Zackham on pit road, as is Matt Swanson. So Swanson, who was strong early, had kind of faded here in this recent stage of the race. They go to the right side of Zackham's car.
Now let's see if they flip-flop tires. as Max Ackham, one of the surprises of this race, as he was another guy who spent the beginning in the shadows. So they have made changes with the tires on that number 18 car.
Well, whether he feels that that's what he's going to need and knows that he has the speed, now he needs the rubber to help him get back to the front. We'll have to wait and see. 29 laps complete out of this, the Nutmeg State 75, presented by Twisted Tea here tonight. Don't forget that this same program happens again on Wednesday night, July 7th. Again, featuring the Outlaw Open Modified Series, the SK Lights, late models, limited sportsmen, and mini stocks. Back in action on Wednesday night, July 7th, then August 11th, and September 15th. So we got 3 more Wednesday nights before we get to the big 59th annual Sunoco World Series in October.
And that is going to be a great night, as a great weekend. As that isn't a racing weekend, it is a festival. So at the rear of the field, we see the 55 of Sean Monahan, who said he was going to go tour racing this year. He purchased that car from the Lutz family. Eric Lutz, the dad of Craig, and he said he was going to do some big racing, open shows, and maybe a modified racing series, and that's why we see him tonight. Important restart. McKennedy elects to go to the outside. Let's see if he can explode the way he did the last time.
Green flag.
Like lava out of a volcano.
Green flag is in the air, and McKennedy gets the jump.
And Rocco loses a position to Williams. Ronnie Williams on the attack.
Yeah, he rocketed right up there to the back bumper of John McKennedy, and now makes a threat at the lead.
As he uses front bumper like a billy club to let McKennedy know he was in the neighborhood. Rocco has dropped back, and now he has to hold off Mike Christopher to the top 3. Ryan Priest is 5th, Nacella 6th, and Ronnie Williams, who was almost non-existent in the first quarter of this race, has become a huge factor.
Yeah, was right there with John McKennedy. McKennedy has prided himself a little distance between himself and Ronnie Williams. Wouldn't call it a comfortable lead, but he's got about a length and a half between them to get a little breathing room there.
A couple of guys to watch who are at the rear of the field right now. Max Ackham in the 18, Matt Swanson in the 3. So they are trying to bob and weave their way toward respectability. McKennedy, a powerful performance so far. And now Rocco, who was in his first row, he dropped way back. We'll see if he can regain his momentum.
Kind of spread out there amongst the top 5 at this point. Anthony Nocella feeling some heat from Chris Pastriak. It wasn't all that long ago that Pastriak was spinning through the infield, and now he's up there along with Dave Sapienza to do battle with Anthony Nocella. That's just outside the top 5.
Priest approaching Mike Christopher in a fight for 4th. Tries to go downstairs, looking for momentum. Can't get it. Leading by the length of the Goodyear blimp is that number 79 of McKennedy. But maybe the best war right now is between Mike Christopher in the 7 and Ryan Priest in the 6.
Yeah, Priest takes a look down on the inside right there between 3 and 4. And draws alongside as they race down the front stretch. Great battle right there. Priest and Christopher side by side down into turn 3.
And it looks like Priest is going to win that battle as he shuffles his way underneath Mike Christopher. Still close at the line. It was Christopher in 4th at the stripe, but Priest trying to get control now. Nacella leads the next contingent of cars. Dave Sapienza trying to work his way underneath Pastriak, and he completes a move, but up at the front, it is John McKennedy leading by a stretch limo over the 25 of Ronnie Williams. So Ronnie Williams made an aggressive move at the start of the green flag run, We are in the second half of the race right now, but Ronnie Williams now has become patient instead of aggressive.
Yeah, he set a pretty good pace. He may have thought that he'd make a big run at it at the green to see if he could get in front and then set the pace. But right now, content to ride in second, keeping an eye on John McKennedy right in front of him.
And McKennedy able to swish his way out of the corner, and not very far away is Ronnie Williams. Keith Rocco led for part of this race, and now he has retreated into the shadows in third, and he's going to have to worry about the emergence of Ryan Preece pretty soon, because it looks like Preece might be the faster car, and on that last lap, Preece was 1.5 tenths of a second faster than Rocco.
Well, he's closing on him for sure, but they are losing some distance to the leaders. Yeah, Preece able to reel him right in going into 3 and pulls up on the back bumper of Keith Rocco.
We still have a long way to go, 33 laps, and McKennedy has led most of them, but Ronnie Williams making him work now. Here comes Preece. He's got the tomahawk out against Keith Rocco. Rocco holds him off for the time being, but Preece isn't surrendering.
He's going to take another shot at it here out of turn number 2. Rocco gets the jump on the backstretch, and Preece has to settle back. Now he'll try it again down here in the 4th turn. But again, Rocco is able to rocket ahead of him and hold on to the spot. Preece has got to make the move in the turn if he's going to pass Keith Rocco.
Now Williams has narrowed the gap separating him and McKennedy in the fight for third. Here comes Preece, very persistent this time. Rocco looks like he has it covered as he continues to maintain third place. But not for long. What a power move by Preece.
Yeah, Preece just drove it right in there deep, and Rocco comes right back. Gives him a taste of his own medicine there going into turn 3. Rocco trying to fight it on the inside, but Preece now in the preferred lane will beat him across the stripe.
An exchange of bottom shots, and Preece is able to win the battle and move into third at the front of the field. The plot thickens between McKennedy and Williams.
Yeah, Preece has got some real estate to cover if he's going to catch those leaders. Spending such a long time there duking it out with Keith Rocco, Williams, and McKennedy were able to get away.
And in 5th is Mike Christopher. Sapienza in 6th. And Andrew Krause has spent a good portion of this race at the rear of the field. He has climbed up into 7th, 1 spot ahead of Max Zachem. And we'll see if that tire move can help Zachem get by Krause and move into the top 7.
He got right up on the back bumper of Krause, but didn't have enough to make the pass. He'll go after him again.
And McKennedy now is wide in his lead. So at the line, he was ahead by just 0.2 of a second. So this is a barn burner between McKennedy and Williams. Now Krause, he knows he is going to get an attack from Zachem. It goes down low. There are only 2 cars on the sideline, Josh Zentek and Dan Meservey. We have 14 cars still in the race with 25 laps to go. And Williams making things interesting again, yellow out.
Spin in the 2nd turn. It looks like Anthony Nocella went around over there and is able to drive away, but not before the caution flag comes out with 50 laps complete. We're down to the length of a Saturday night shootout coming up here.
And Anthony Nocella went into the wilderness off turn number 2, bringing out another yellow. And this time, McKennedy will be restarting against Ronnie Williams. In the previous restarts, it was McKennedy against Rocco. So this is a little bit different scenario.
Well, with 25 laps to go, this is where they got to show what they have. Now, this is a big advantage for Preece, who had a lot of real estate to cover if he was going to catch those guys on his own. after he'd gotten around Keith Rocco and put some space between them. But now he's going to have an equal chance because he's going to restart right.
Let's see if anybody makes adjustments. Here comes McKennedy, and we are ready for some pit stops with 25 laps to go. It is McKennedy, Williams, Priest, then it is Rocco, Mike Christopher. All the front runners are on pit road.
And they're all going to the right side of their race cars. Jack's underneath and bringing them up. And it looks like it'll be tires, right side tires for just about everybody.
Well, Zackham was the first to put on right sides, and now everybody is going to be able to do it. Everybody on the lead lap went on to pit road. 25 laps to go, and Rocco is the first one out.
Priest, Swanson, Ronnie Williams, Chris Pastriak, then John McKennedy.
You know, sometimes at Thompson, races are won and lost on pit road. Justin Bonsignor has won a few wheel and tour races by his crew's prowess on pit road. And now it is Keith Rocco in the Mike and Mark Payne Stone Creations car, who was able to beat Priest out. A good exit for Swanson, Williams fourth, and McKennedy, who had the lead on lap number 50 when it started, is now in about sixth place.
Yeah, just as we were talking about the fact the way they would line up for the restart, that got all mixed up because they all did decide to go on to pit road and go for right side rubber. So this creates a whole new race for the last 25 laps.
And so because all the lead lap cars went into pit, the playing field would be equal. The advantage was who got out of pit road first, and that was the 57 of Keith Rocco. He'll be lining up in fourth place. So it is Sapienza. He is our leader, followed by Kraus and then Zackham. Those three drivers did not go into pit in that last exchange. And then on the outside, Keith Rocco. And with fresh rubber, we'll see what Rocco can do operating from the outside of the second row.
Yeah, don't count out Ronnie Williams, who was strong before that caution flag, and Ryan Priest. He'll start inside of the third row. As the pace car peels off down on the pit road, green flag is in the air. We're back underway, and a big jump for Dave Sapienza.
And Rocco is able to get by Zackham. He is able to get by Kraus. And now he's going after Sapienza.
Sapienza will lead him through the third and fourth turn. Rocco sizes him up out of turn 4, sticks the nose down underneath, and here comes Priest up on the outside.
So Priest is following Sapienza, but look at Rocco. He is back in front, getting a battle to the inside.
Yeah, Sapienza trying to come back down on the inside of Rocco, and Priest right there locked to the back bumper of Rocco as they both race around Sapienza.
Sapienza fighting a losing battle as he was swallowed up by the combination of Rocco and Priest. Priest has tried to make moves on the inside all night long. Is he going to be trying one against Rocco? Remember a few laps ago, Priest went by him and Rocco wasted no time in getting the advantage back. In third, Sapienza and Matt Swanson. He is tickling the back bumper of the Sapienza car, and he is making a move, trying to get into the top 3, and Swanson is there.
Yeah, Swanson, another one of those on new rubber, as Dave Sapienza holds on as well as he can. He's given up the third spot to Swanson. Right behind him now is Ronnie Williams. Williams runs in the 5th spot.
And then Pastriak right behind him. Then Max Zackham. We have a battle for the lead. Priest trying to crowbar his way underneath Rocco. Couldn't do it. When will he try it again? Right now, Rocco has an edge by about the length of a molecule.
Priest again looking it over, going down into turn 3. Content to follow him through. and ride with Rocco. They run 1-2.
Rocco leading, but all over him like dimples on a golf ball is Priest, who it looks like he might have a crevice underneath if he is quick enough to take advantage of it. In third is Swanson. Priest going to work on the inside.
Takes a peek down there anyway, but not enough to pull up alongside, and will follow him down into turn one.
That was a pretty good peak, but what he is looking for is a peak performance. Let's see if he gets it in the next couple of laps.
Still plenty of time to go. That'll be 58 laps complete when they go by this time. Rocco continues to lead.
Rocco, the edge by a fingernail. Then Swanson and Williams. In fifth is Sapienza, followed by Pastriak, as they trigger their way off the corner. Rocco doing a good job holding off Priest. Remember earlier tonight in our Sunoco Modified interview, Mike Christopher said Keith Rocco knows exactly where to be so he won't get past. He's going to have to use that skill against Ryan Priest.
Bottom shot for Ronnie Williams down underneath Matt Swanson to take over the third spot. Don't count him out because he was strong in the first part of this race.
And he can make up ground in a hurry. And maybe he'll try to do it right now with 15 laps to go.
Ronnie Williams trying to climb in there and get into the battle for the lead. Still Rocco and Priest duking it out. John McKennedy has not been able to get back to the front.
And that is something we did not anticipate. He's trying to get by Sapienza now up at the front.
Yeah,
Priest playing the waiting game.
He was mired back in about the seventh spot and having a hard time getting around Dave Sapienza.
So now Ryan Priest, he is the straw that stirs the drink. What is he going to do? And while Rocco and Priest are battling for the lead, Ronnie Williams has become a major player. The top three now can fit in an aspirin bottle. The driver giving everybody a headache is Keith Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco continues to show the way around. Priest has to wait for the opportune moment, and that doesn't always come when you're racing against Keith Rocco. So he may have to just force his way in there, as now Ronnie Williams has come and cutting right on the back bumper of Priest. So we'll have to see if Williams becomes a factor in this thing. Maybe he'll try the outside of Ryan Priest while Priest is trying the inside of Rocco. Three-car race for the lead out of turn four.
An extravaganza as Ronnie Williams, he was hammering on the back of the Priest car. Let's see what he does. Priest is able to pull away and get a little bit of relief as they are able to nitro their way into the corner. Williams making a move, got 1/4 of the way there, and then decided to quit for now. We are down to 9 laps to go.
Those three cars, it's a breakaway out front. Priest again with a little bit of a look underneath Keith Rocco. Can't make it work. Ronnie Williams again with a head of steam on the backstretch, but does not pull up alongside Priest.
So when will Williams strike against Ryan Priest? Right now, the driver with the lightning in his hip pocket is Keith Rocco. So we have a 3-car breakaway. Matt Swanson is 4th. Pastriak is 5th. McKennedy is 6th. And since the pit stop on lap number 50, Pete, John McKennedy has not been John McKennedy.
Yeah, not what we saw in the first part of the race, that's for sure, as he is not closing on the front runners. Rocco with a little bit of breathing room between himself and Ryan Priest. Don't know whether that's by design as far as Ryan Priest is concerned, as we're down to it with just 6 laps to go.
And you have to think the Priest is ready for one more run at the 57 car. When will it come? Maybe now, as he had some room on the bottom, but Rocco went up high, and he got an assistance from the high banking to maintain his edge.
Yeah, he's able to keep the momentum by being up one groove further than Ryan Priest. Priest has got a little more work to do if he's going to make the pass on the bottom. Meanwhile, Ronnie Williams itching to go forward, and he could be the spoiler in all of this with just 4 laps to go.
He might go when Priest goes. And Priest might be going now as they go into turn number 3. Here he is in between the corner. And once again, it looks like he's going to make an emphatic move and then thinks otherwise. Down to 3 laps to go. Priest making a move right now. Comes up empty.
Deep down into turn 1. Can't do it, and he gave up the top to Ronnie Williams. So now Williams will go after Keith Rocco.
So let's see if Williams has one more bullet left in the chamber. 2 laps to go. Rocco hanging on. Ronnie Williams right there. Priest is right there. And Rocco looking to go 2 for 2 tonight. Beats everybody into the 4th turn.
Here they come to get the white flag. One more lap left. Rocco using the middle of the racetrack out of turn 4. Does not want a threat on the inside. Last chance for Ronnie Williams. He looks to the outside of Rocco. No running room there. One more shot as they go down into turn 3. Here's Ronnie Williams with a look down on the bottom. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag is in the air. Keith Rocco will hold on to win. Ronnie Williams for 2nd. Ryan Priest 3rd. Matt Swanson is 4th. 5th is Chris Pastriak. 6th is the 79 of John McKennedy.
And then it will be Mike Christopher finishing 7th. Dave Sapienza in 8th. Anthony Nacella 9th. Max Ackham 10th. Andrew Krause 11th. Robert Chardy 12th. In 13th, Sean Monahan. In 14th, Anthony Flannery. And the cars that did not finish, Josh Zentak in the 81, Brett Meserve in the 45, and Brian Weber did not start the race. So this race was won on pit road. I think Keith Rocco was 4th going into the pit stop. He came out first. That gave him the advantage. And despite the havoc created by Ronnie Williams and Ryan Priest, he was able to handle it. The one nervous moment came with about 4 laps to go when Priest made his move trying to catapult underneath Rocco. Not only did he not make the move, it cost him 2nd place because Williams was able to get by him and land that car in the runner-up position. So what a profitable night for Keith Rocco. $5,000 to win the Nutmeg State 75 presented by Texas Tea. And he is out of the car. And one of the big wins of the season for Kid Rock. He had 1 win at Stafford this year and 3 at Thompson, including 2 tonight. That's what you call double dipping in a big way.
Keith Rocco is going to take a couple of celebratory photos down here before we get a word with the winner of the Nutmeg State 75 presented by Twisted Tea. And here he comes to join us. We'll turn towards the cameras at Speed 51 for the 2nd time tonight. Keith, congratulations. A great battle there between you, Ryan, and Ronnie Williams at the end.
Oh man, what a group of talent up front. You know, that was awesome to race with Ryan Priest. It's been a long time since we had a battle here. That one might have been cleaner than some of our past, but we got to laugh about that. That was a lot of fun. I got to thank Mark and Mike, M&M Stone Creations, D&G Paving, Schaefer Oil. I got the main rep out here tonight supporting us and trying to move some product. 811 call before you dig. Pettit for the awesome horsepower. Man, I just B&M Maintenance, Don't Love You Truck and Trailer Repair, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, but I got to thank Rob Fuller. You know, he talked us into going with this TA4 over the winter, and man, this thing's stout. TFR race cars.
All right, Keith Rocco picks up the big win, $5,000 in the Nutmeg State 75 presented by Twisty Tea. We'll catch up with Ronnie Williams, our 2nd place finisher. And Ronnie, come on over here. We'll turn in front of the Speed 51 camera so the folks at home can see you. A good run. Got by Ryan there when he tried the bottom. A couple laps to go, just not quite enough to get by Keith.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I think, 2 laps to try getting Keith, and just got a little bit too loose there at the end. So come back, know what we need to do now, and hopefully we can be there next time.
All right, Ronnie Williams, 2nd place. Congratulations to him. And we will catch up with NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Priest, who's come to play with us here tonight. Solid run. Tried Keith there at the end, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, Ronnie was just really good on the outside, and where I needed to be, I had to protect the outside, and I was pretty decent on the bottom. Pretty good car. So just Keith had a good enough car, right? So good for them, good car. I mean, not a bad day. Car's going in the trailer.
All right.
Thanks to Call Before You Dig, Racing Electronics, Model Communications, FK Roddens, all those guys, and we'll try them again in 2 weeks.
All right, Ryan Priest will be back here on July the 7th for the Sam Adams race as part of the 75-lapper for the Tour Type Modifieds and the Outlaw Open Modified Series. Keith Rocco, though, the big winner tonight. That's it from down.